Well, good morning, everybody. Hello, Brad here. Big Family Homestead. I hope you're having a blessed day wherever it is that you're watching this devotion from. We have got some really cool insights. We're in the book of First Samuel in the ESV version of the Bible. And we're going to continue on in chapter 19. We're going to be in 1 Samuel 19. And we're going to see that King Saul is not having a good day. He starts doing stupid things. And David is now going to be on the run soon. I apologize for my voice. I'm sick. I got a cold. But it's just a cold. Never to fear. You know, those things happen. So, before we get cranking here, let's go ahead and see who is in the house this morning. Scroll into the top. Let's see. Alicia's first this morning. Good morning to Alicia, Tina, Jean Marie, Faith and Family. Good morning, Southern Prairie Homestead, Karen. Hey, Steve. Good morning, Sally. Pepper Leah, Plant with Jen, Delaney B. Good morning to the Bulletproof Pastor. Good morning to Sally H. and Laura H. and Pepper Leah and Monica Sherman and the Adaptive Maritimer. Haven't seen you in a few days, man. Hope things are good for you. Mama Bear, good morning to 320 Homestead. Let's see, Sally H. Faith and Family, good morning to, let's see, T. Pearson. Oh, good morning to Mike DeFozzi. I can't do it, man. Good morning, Mike. Good morning to Jesus is Lord, Jules, Adele, Krista, and crew. Good morning to Scott, and, well, I think I got everybody. A. Taylor. If I've missed your name, I promise it is unintentional. Good morning. Clink. We're in 1 Samuel 19. 1 Samuel 19. All right. So, you know, somebody made a comment yesterday. It caught my eye. That this sounds like a soap opera, what we're reading. And there's a lot of drama here. If this is not a hit movie waiting to be made, it should be. Because this is crazy. What's going on? All of the intrigue and the drama, and there's backstabbing and political stuff. And then you've got also the elements of, you know, loving God, and this whole thing is a crazy story, right? So what I think we should do is we should be looking how to mine out the different attributes of the characters that are in these accounts to enrich us, but also the warning signs. Like, look at Saul. He went nutty. And he's getting ready to go nuttier. So here we go. All right. 1 Samuel chapter 19. Here we go. And Saul spoke to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, Saul, my father, seeks to kill you. Therefore, be on your guard in the morning. Stay in a secret place and hide yourself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where you are, and I will speak to my father about you. And if I learn anything, I will tell you. And Jonathan spoke well of David to Saul his father, and said to him, Let not the king sin against his servant David, because he has not sinned against you, and because his deeds have brought good to you. For he took his own life in his hand, and he struck down the Philistine. And the Lord worked a great salvation for all Israel. You saw it, and rejoiced. Why then will you sin against innocent blood by killing David without cause? And Saul listened to the voice of Jonathan. Saul swore, As the Lord lives, he shall not be put to death. And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan reported to him all these things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as before. And there was war again, and David went out and fought. Excuse me. And David went out and fought with the Philistines and struck them with a great blow, so that they fled before him. Then a harmful spirit from the Lord came upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his spear in his hand, and David was playing the lyre. And Saul sought to pin David to the wall with the spear. But he eluded Saul, so that he struck the spear into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. Saul sent messengers to David's house to watch him, that he might kill him in the morning. But Michal, David's wife, told him, "If you do not escape with your life tonight, tomorrow you will be killed." So Michal let David down through the window, and he fled away and escaped. Michal took an image and laid it on the bed, and put a pillow of goat's hair at its head, and covered it with the clothes. And when Saul sent the messengers to take David, she said, "He is sick." Then Saul sent the messengers to see David, saying, "Bring him up to me in the bed, that I may kill him." And when the messengers came in, behold, the image was in the bed, with the pillow of goat's hair at its head. Saul said to Michal, "Why have you deceived me thus, and let my enemy go, so that he has escaped?" And Michal answered, "Saul, he said to me, 'Let me go. Why should I kill you?'" Now David fled and escaped, and he came to Samuel at Ramah, and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and lived at Naioth. And it was told to Saul, "Behold, David is at Naioth in Ramah." Then Saul sent his messengers to take David. And when they saw the company of prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing at the head over them, the Spirit of God came upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. When it was told Saul, he sent all the other messengers. Let me back up. When it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they also prophesied. And Saul sent messengers again and a third time, and they also prophesied. Then he himself went to Ramah and came to the great well that is at Seku, and he asked, "Where is Samuel and David?" And one said, "Behold, they're at Naioth in Ramah." And he went there to Naioth in Ramah, and the Spirit of God came upon him also. And as he went, he prophesied until he came to Naioth in Ramah. And he too stripped off his clothes, and he too prophesied before Samuel, and lay naked all day and all that night. Thus it is said, is Saul also among the prophets. Excuse me. Like Ferris Bueller, yeah. Okay. This is really funny. There's a lot here that's great. Let's go straight out of the gate. First verse, Jonathan keeps David safe, right? Even though it's his own future on the line. I mean, at this point, it's not, hey, bro, he knows Saul is going to kill him. Jonathan knows this. He knows that there's serious implication to backing up David, but he understands instinctively that God's saying, guess what? Your dad's gone, he's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He's not there anymore. Who you used to think was an honorable, godly guy, he's lost it. He's lost the plot. You need to make your allegiance with David. And so Jonathan persuades Saul not to kill David, but then it doesn't last long. It doesn't last long. Saul lies, and he goes back on his commitment. But you can see here that Jonathan is absolutely like best friends with David. And I don't mean like BFFs like we say now, like real best friends. The kind of friend that you could call up in the middle of the night and say, hey, I'm stuck in Alabama. Can you come get me? And they would. And they wouldn't even think about it. And I'm in Wisconsin, by the way, so that makes that illustration a little better. So Saul makes this hollow, shallow promise, swears that he won't kill David, and then right in the next few sentences, he's right back at it. And that's what happens, guys. That's what happens. If you don't have God as your anchor and your rock, you make stupid choices. You do stupid things. You know, have you ever heard the phrase, play stupid games, win stupid prizes? Well, that's kind of the thing. It's that, guess what? If Saul does not have God as his rock, he's going to do stupid things. And clearly, the Spirit of the Lord is not with Saul anymore. It's with David, right? So, excuse me. So, here's an interesting thing that Jonathan, in his talking to Saul, he's trying to convince him, this guy doesn't deserve death. As a matter of fact, remember Goliath? Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. He did that. He took his own life into his hands, and you benefited from it, right? And what's hilarious is this attitude of, how dare you make me look good? I mean, Saul has killed thousands, and David has killed 10,000s. And so he's jealous of that. He's jealous. He's not just jealous of that, but he's also jealous that he knows that the Spirit of God has departed from him. And I'll bet you he suspects it's on David. Right? And so, how dare you make me look good? It's kind of funny. Okay. Now, if you continue on so we can see the drama that's unfolding here. Saul goes loony and tries to kill David, even though he's literally in the process of trying to soothe his spirit. Saul's having one of his crazy, rants, moments, whatever. He's got this, a harmful spirit of the Lord came upon Saul. and David is literally there trying to soothe him by playing sweet music to him. He's there trying to play music. And Saul goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and tries to pin him to the wall. He throws a spear at him, but he flees and escapes. And then he sends troops to David's house with his daughter, right? And this is crazy. So what she does is she takes this image and sticks it in the bed, like Mike DeFazio was saying, like Ferris Bueller, like that there was excuse me. It was a fake. It was a body, just something in the bed to make it look like David. It was fake. Goat's hair at the front, right? But here's my question. An image. This was a household god, like small g god. Remember how the Israelites used to worship just junk? Wood and and they didn't have plastic. I was going to say wood and plastic, but wood and things and emerald out with gold and jewels and rocks, and they had household gods. Why did Saul's daughter and David have a household god in their house? You ever think about why was that there? Why would David allow that in his house? So you have to You have to think about this because there's a point you just kind of go right over it. They had a household god the size of a human that she stuck in the bed with goat's hair so that it would deceive the people coming to kill David. Well, guess what? So that tells you something about Michal, Saul's daughter, which also tells you something about Saul, but it also had to tell you something about David, right? I mean, why was there a god there, a small g god in the house? This was not some new dwelling that they had. They didn't like take this house from the Philistines and poof, it was there. And well, let's just stick it over there. We didn't have a chance to burn it yet. Oh yeah, sure. Right. No, it was there. And maybe they had just stuck it in a corner or something, but it was there. That it was there. So if it was Saul's daughter, if it was hers, that raises a lot of questions, doesn't it? Because Saul is supposed to be the king of the Israelites. He's supposed to have God, the one true God, as the only God. So that tells you a little bit more about Saul, doesn't it? So if it was hers, okay, then you can kind of almost go, well, maybe she had it hidden and David didn't know. Maybe. So you have to deduce a few things about David. So first of all, Saul's house is a mess. If they've been like keeping secret gods in the house, then Saul train wreck from the beginning, right? But that also tells you something about David. So if this was her small g god, then it tells you this. Either David knew about it and didn't care, or he didn't know about it, which tells you that he was not very in tune with what's going on in his family. Oof. So either he was not aware that his wife was doing horrible things behind his back, and therefore he's guilty of not knowing, or maybe she's just super conniving. Maybe she's just super sneaky behind his back and is able to get away with things. That happens. But it does give you a deeper insight into the mess that's going on in this family. Karen says he was out battling. Yeah, but by the same token, he's home as well. He's home. Hey, what the heck is that thing doing over in the corner? Get it out of here. Burn it. You're not doing that anymore. I mean, so my point is he was either ignorant of what was really going on, or he didn't care. Because I don't believe he accepted it. I don't believe that at all. He knew who the one true God was, so he was either ignorant or didn't care. I mean, that's how it is. If she's got a hidden God, well, clearly she's lying to him. But interesting, huh? All right. So she hides this God, small g God, in the bed and buys time. She lies to her father and says he's sick, and then Saul says, "Hey, bring him here. I'm going to kill him in his bed. I don't even care. I don't even care." And then she lies again. "Why have you deceived me thus?" Saul says to Michal, "and let my enemy go that he has escaped." The real question is, why would you want to kill my husband when he's done nothing to you? But instead, she lies. And Michal said, "He said to me, 'Let me go. Why should I kill you?'" So she's telling Saul to save her own skin, I'm sure. He said he was going to kill me. He said he was going to kill me. Thank you, Janet. So she lied again to save her own skin. Now this is great here from 18 to the end when David flees and he goes to Samuel and tells him everything that Saul's doing, and then Saul figures it out, starts sending troops over there, and what do? They start prophesying. What? God flipped that on its head, didn't he? He just said, you know what? These are assassins. Don't forget that. This is a kill squad. Samuel is sending an assassin kill squad to go get David in front of the prophet Samuel. Don't you find that kind of interesting? Samuel was the one who appointed Saul as king. Samuel was also the one who appointed David as king. Really? Uh-huh. The plot thickens. Dun, dun, dun. So, Samuel sends this kill squad to go get David, who's hanging out with the prophet that appointed him as king over Israel. It's amazing. And then, instead of killing David, they start prophesying. So he sends more. And then a third time. And they do the same thing. And then finally, he himself goes and starts prophesying and ends up that he can't do it. Every time Saul tries to use his power to take out David, God goes, nope. Nope. Every time that Saul tries to flex his muscle, God goes, it's not my plan, and makes David even bigger and better and badder and all of those things. Every time Saul tries to thwart David, it ends up for his good, right? It's hard to get good help. Yeah. But, okay, ready for Bradisms? Because here's Bradisms for this. We can't know this, so this is extra biblical. This is a Bradism, just thinking. I wonder what they were prophesying. You ever wonder that? You see that what they were doing. They were prophesying. I wonder what they were saying. Were they saying possibly things of David in his future and how awesome his lineage would be? Wouldn't that just be the best? If Saul couldn't even control himself and was blessing David in his line, and that it would bring about Messiah, and that it would be the ultimate sacrifice, and it would be the ultimate redemption, and he couldn't say anything except what God was telling him to say. Wouldn't that be the best? Now, we don't know that, but boy, oh boy, I like to think that, because all he's doing is trying to kill him again and again and again. Wouldn't it just be the best if he was like, blessed be the house of David. May your line bring about the redemption of all humanity. Now, I don't know that, and it's not recorded. But since it's not recorded, I'm going to go ahead and think that, because it's not contradictory to anything. Now, I'm not saying that's the truth, but I'm saying that's what I'm going to go ahead and think, even though it's not exactly biblically written down. But it doesn't contradict either, right? So, I'm going to look at some comments here. Let's see what we got. Phoebe, wow, this is one messed up family. How different is it, though, Phoebe, from the people that rule us? Look at the Biden family syndicate. Look at Hunter Biden. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican or a Libertarian. That family's jacked up. Whether you like them or hate them, you have to look at the fact that they are a messed up family. How different are they than, say, Mr. Trudeau? Or take your pick of the leaders that follow us. I'm not saying that this one's good and that one's bad. I'm saying they're all messed up. Show me one that isn't. There. Let's start there. How about the royalty in Great Britain? There's a messed up family. Show me one that isn't. It hasn't changed because human nature hasn't changed. T. Pearson says, it reminds me of when Balaam was hired to curse the Israelites. Yes. And all he could do was pronounce blessings on them. I gotta go with that. Saul had power, but God controls the switch. True. Mike DeFazio, isn't that the truth? Some things haven't changed. True. Southern Prairie Homestead says the incidents served to bring Saul into humility, even humiliation, that he might repent, but his heart remains unchanged. True. A single incident of the Holy Spirit inspiring a person is no indication of real faith in deep commitment to God. True, yeah. God was using Saul as a tool. Amen, amen, amen. That's good. Some things haven't changed in 5,000 years. Yep. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. How much different is it with our families? Karen, bringing it home. Yeah, what's really different? How much real estate we own and how much money we got in the bank? Oh, true. Plan with Jen says it's encouraging even today to see how God is sovereign and always in control. When we read about how he had even him prophesying, my God is an awesome God. He reigns. True. They're all messed up. Yep. Well, and that's the thing, guys. That's the thing, is that it's easy for us, and I mean us as in the normal, everyday people who are not uber rich, wealthy, world deciding leaders. It's easy for us to go, you're so bad, because it's on display. It's easy to see that they're jacked up. But if you took a microscope and looked into my life, you probably wouldn't be watching this, because I'm no different than you. You got your things, I got my things. Am I trying hard to get Jesus to help me with them? Yes, I am. But don't ever look and go with a finger of disdain and go, you stink and I don't. Because the truth is, we're all covered in sin and we need Jesus the same as they do. And yeah, they need Jesus, but they're on full display. There's things in my life that I don't want. It's embarrassing to talk about your own private sins. But we all struggle with these things. It's not just the Bidens and the Trudeaus and the Kim Jong blah, blah, blahs. It's not just them. It's just that theirs is amplified because they have money and power and a lot of cameras and a lot of that stuff. But guess what? We're all broken. That's why we need Jesus. And the only point I'm trying to make is that it's dangerous for us to point and say, you're worse than me. Because you know what? When you point and say, you're worse than me, kind of just is trying to say, well, I'm not so bad. And you got more sin than I do, which means you're really trying to say, he needs a whole lot more of Jesus than I do, when in reality, as we all do. We all do. It's a dangerous thing to try to point out somebody else's flaw. I apologize. It's a dangerous thing to try to point out somebody else's flaws. All right. I got to go because I'm getting ready to have a coughing fit. I can feel it. Real quick prayer. Father God, help us. We need it. Amen. I'm going to go ahead and try to breathe here in a second. But you guys have an awesome and blessed day, okay?